So you're looking to get into the investment game in the Clifton Park, New York area? Well, I got your back. I bought my first investment property almost 20 years ago, and I've been in the game ever since. So whether you are a seasoned investor or maybe just a new and looking to try to get yourself into the business, I can help you either grow or start your portfolio. This next video is all about how I can help you get into investing in Clifton Park, New York.
My name is McMahon, and I'm a local real estate agent here in the capital region, and I go from anywhere from Albany all the way down to Lake George and the surrounding areas and anywhere in between. And I'm putting out a ton of videos all about the capital district and the surrounding areas, all about real estate, buying, selling, investing. So if this is your first time to my channel, make sure you subscribe to it and click that little bell as well. That way you'll get notified when I'm putting out new videos. I get a ton of phone calls from people looking to buy and sell their home in the Capital District area, and I love it. So if you've got questions in any real estate matters, make sure you reach out and get a hold of me. Either call, send me a text, shoot me an email, whatever tickles your fancy, the best way that you feel comfortable. Reach out, get a hold of me today, and let's start and have that conversation. First, let's do a little bit about myself and my background as far as investing properties go. I'm standing here from you right now in the kitchen of a fix and flip that we bought just a couple months ago. We've now got it under contract and ready to sell. But we're standing in the kitchen here, and this is one of my rehabs. You can see we still got, the blue plastic right over here on the washer and dryer. We completely gutted this kitchen, but I've been in the business, like I said, in investment property for almost 20 years now, buying holds as well as fix and flips, so I've got experience. So for you, a new person coming out, or even a seasoned investor coming out, looking to get into the investment game, is I've got your back. I love the process from the starting out with the searching for and trying to find the right exact property that you need that's going to fit what your investment strategy is, and then seeing it all the way through to the end where you get the big payday as far as the fix and flips, or even with the buy and holds. When you get that property in there and you start receiving that rent money and everything like that. So I've been on both sides of the coins on that, so I'm here to help you out. So the first thing you need to do is you need to reach out and you got to get a hold of me so we can start with the conversation. Because when we get together, we got to talk about your goals. What are you looking for in investment property? There's all different types of strategies. Like I said, there is a buy and hold where you're looking just to get in there. You want to buy some properties. Maybe you don't want to put a lot of money into it. Maybe you just want to find nice properties that don't need a lot of work, that you can maybe have tenants already that you can just buy and you can start collecting the rents right away. Or maybe you're on the other end where you're looking for a fix and flip, where you're looking for a property that has been beat up. Really, it needs a lot of work, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 you need to put in it, and you want to buy that property, single family property, buy it, put the money into it, fix it up, and then turn around and sell it down at the end. And there's anything in the middle there. So there's commercial properties, and we got duplexes that maybe you want to buy and put some money into, but you're going to hold them. But we got to have a conversation. We got to see what your goals are, what you're trying to get out of it, what your budget is. From there, we can start to put together a vision of where you want to go with your investment strategy. The second thing we got to do at that point is we're going to throw on and we want to dial in a location. So do you want to maybe look for just single family fix and flips that are kind of out in developments outside the city a little bit and that kind of area, or are you looking, maybe you want to stay inside the city limits, you just want to buy and hold something that's close to the bus line, walking distance to shopping, that kind of thing, that's kind of more appealing for someone who may be renting. Also, maybe there's a specific school district you're looking for, or a price range. Certain areas, the starter home is a lot cheaper to get into, so maybe that's what your budget is going to focus on, some of those less expensive homes to first get started out till you get a little bit of bankroll, and then maybe you want to move up to some more expensive properties down the line once you get there. But that's what we need to do. We need to dial in a location, kind of start from there. We're going to kind of even tweak it a little bit more and figure out, you know, what your budget is, where should we be looking for these homes, and get you set up and start putting together a list of properties for you to go take a look at. So like I said, I've been in the business for almost 20 years, and over that time I've developed some relationships with a lot of great contractors. So of course you're always free to use the contractors that you know. If you don't know any, or you're looking for suggestions, you need an electrician, maybe you need a plumber, just a general contractor that maybe just does everything, and you can just kind of deal with one person instead of dealing with multiple people, that type of thing. I've got a lot of suggestions. I made a lot of connections. I can put you in touch with some people that you can interview and kind of see if it's going to be a working relationship between the two of you, someone that you connect with. It's important that when you're working with a contractor, that you have a contractor that you can connect with, someone that you can talk with, you have an open conversation with, because you don't want any surprises, and that's a huge thing with the contractors. You don't want surprises, so the communication is a big thing. So being able to connect with a contractor is something you really want to take seriously, and someone that you really feel comfortable with, that you can talk to openly in both ways. I can help you with that because I've worked with a lot of great contractors in the area. So I can help with you by making suggestions of who to call depending on the situation that you're in. Okay, the next thing you want to do now that you've acquired the property, let's say that you've purchased a buy and hold, you got a 4-unit home that you've got, and you now have tenants in there. So you got to decide, how are you going to manage this thing? Are you going to manage this on your own? Or do you think you want to go out and maybe try and find a property management? So that's the next thing we're going to look at for you, is how are you going to manage this property? A lot of people, when they're first starting out and they've only got a couple houses, maybe 10, 12, 15 units, everybody's a little bit different depending on what their comfort level is and how much they want to deal with. Also, cash flow is something you want to consider. Is it going to be able to cash flow? But once you start getting, most people, when they got just a couple properties like that, they manage them themselves. They learn to be able to deal with the tenants and be able to address any issues that may come up. I said, but once you start getting higher, again, everybody's different. Some people, after they get 6, they want to hire a property management company, and that's fine. And some people, they'll manage it up to 40. Eventually, a lot of people, if you keep growing that portfolio, you get to the point where you may want to look at getting a property manager. And a good property manager will save you a lot of the headaches. They're all different how they pay. A lot of them usually take a certain percentage of the monthly rent from the property. So that's something we can also help you out with. We can help find you a good property manager to manage the properties once you have them, so you're not fielding a phone call at 12:30 at night that there's a flood, or the pipe is broken, and the bathroom sink is leaking all over the place. Another thing we want to look at is lending. And sometimes you can get creative with the lending. So there's a couple things that are important to remember. First off, we got 1 unit or a single family home up to a 4-unit property, is you can go with conventional lending with a regular bank. Most banks will offer lending for those types of properties with a certain percentage down, and every bank has got their own different criteria for how much percentage they want down. But something to keep in mind is anything over 4 units, usually 5 and above, it's going to fall into a different category. That's going to fall under commercial lending. And I work with lenders all the time. I've got a couple different great lenders that have been able to hook people up with, that have been able to get them funded for their properties. So of course, you're always free to use whatever lender. Maybe you got a family member who's works for a mortgage company or something like that you want to use, and that's fine. But if it's something, a question you may have that you need to point it in the right direction to find a good lending company to help you out, I've got some experience with different lenders. I could certainly make some suggestions for you to be able to make a phone call and just get the ball rolling. Start talking with them, find out what their criteria is, how much percentage do they want down, and go around and talk to a couple of them, because everybody's going to be a little bit different. You may have somebody who's going to want 20% down, and you might be able to find somebody else where, depending what their criteria is, may want a little bit less than that. So you could get into a property for less money out of pocket as well. But that's something I can help you out with and make some suggestions and point you in the right direction to find some lenders that can help you get your first project or your next project with however many you're at. If you're at, your 10th house, your 12th house, something like that, I can also help you get you funded for those too. You want to try and maximize your dollars, because if you've got a set amount of money put aside to purchase as many houses as you can, so sometimes you're better off if you can go with a lower percentage to get yourself to buy in, as long as the numbers work, because you got to make sure that the rent you're going to be collecting is going to be able to pay off all the expenses. So there's some expenses there. Obviously there's mortgage, there's insurance you got to think about. Also, you want to make sure you keep in mind utilities, because a lot of times if you got a shared area, that those utility expenses are going to come back on you. So you got to make sure you've got all those things considered. And like I said, each house is also a little bit different. There's maybe a water bill that comes in as well. So you want to make sure that the expenses going out, don't go over the income coming in. So the cash flow is an important thing to take a look at when you're also looking at funding. You want to make sure that you're going to cash flow money in your pocket after your expenses every month. So maximizing your dollar is a big thing that you're going to want to look at when you're looking for investment property. Now, for buy and holds, you also want to make sure that all your expenses are being accounted for. So again, when you go to sell that house, you want to make sure you can pay everything off and then still have money left to put in your pocket. So you want to make sure you check out a number of different things. Obviously, there's going to be interest on the loan that you're going to have to pay, but you're going to have carrying costs that a lot of people who are new to the investment game, they forget about these and don't think to calculate them in, and that's where you can get yourself in trouble, because you will have to pay taxes for the time that you're going to hold the property. Even if it's only 3 months, you're going to owe those 3 months of taxes, as well as there's an electric bill, still have the electric bill, water bill. Like we mentioned, insurance is going to be included in that as well, and some other miscellaneous expenses that could be unique to different properties, such as an HOA fee, that kind of thing. So it's not just being able to pay off the mortgage and the interest on the mortgage. There's other expenses when you're in buy and holds that you want to keep in mind as well. So and those are all things that you want to think of ahead of time, not at the end when you're trying to calculate things out and find out, okay, I gotta go to closing and come cash out of pocket. So there's a number of things we gotta look at. We gotta get you dialed in with what your goals are gonna be. We need to get to mark an area of where you wanna go that's gonna fit your budget, fit travel. How long is it gonna take you to get there? I mean, some people don't wanna travel an hour and a half if they need to get to a property. Some people only wanna be able to travel 10, 15 minutes. So an area is gonna be important. Contractors, we gotta keep that in mind. Lending. Don't forget property management if you're going to be going buy and holds and you don't want to be getting that late night phone call, or you just don't want to be bothered with having to run over there every time there's an issue. So the final thing you got to do is you got to reach out and you got to get a hold of me. We can set up a Zoom call if you're out of the area. I'd be more than happy to do a Zoom call with you, talk to you about the different area, go through those steps there, kind of figure out how I can best help you. Or if you want to, find a place where we can meet face to face, we can meet face to face. Sit down and talk, and we can just same thing, go through what your goals are, what your needs are, and try and put a plan together here that's going to best fit what your goals are. And so reach out and get a hold of me today. You can give me a call, you can send me a text, email, whatever works best for you. Make sure you reach out, get a hold of me today. Let's get that scheduled, and make sure before you leave, I'm going to be putting out a ton more videos, more on investing, just real estate in the area in general. So make sure you subscribe to my channel, click the bell so you get notified with any new videos to come out, and I will see you on the next video.